First we have Lifeline. Lifeline is going to be put in S tier because you can just pretty much revive your teammates at any time, and then you can heal them. Next up is Wraith. Wraith's hitbox got nerfed, so she is no longer as good, but she will still be an A tier because of her ability, passive, and her ultimate being rotates, which is very important in this game. Next up is Bloodhound. I'll be putting Bloodhound in S tier because he has wall hacks, and his ultimate makes him make it so he can run faster, which is good for getting into zone and rotates. Next up is Fuse. I haven't played Fuse much yet because the season is still pretty new, but after first impressions, I think Fuse is going to have to be in C tier. This is because his grenades don't do that much damage. His ultimate, run away from it if you see him launch it.
Getting some damage over here.
Next up we have Rampart. Rampart is going to be in C tier because of her buffs. Next up is Horizon. Horizon is going to be in B tier because even though she's good, her kit is just not as good as the people above her. Next up we have Caustic. I'm gonna put him in C tier because I already didn't think he was that good, and he got another nerf. It's Crypto. I'm gonna put Bangalore in C tier because she does everything, just not super well. Also, her passive is decent if you want to get away from a fight. I am putting Pathfinder in B tier because he has good mobility, but the characters above him have better kits in general. Next up is Watson. Watson is getting put in B tier because she has good defense and she is definitely better than the C tiers. Next up we have Octane, who I'm putting in C tier because even though he got buffs last season for health regeneration, and this season he got buffs for his launch pad, he is still not very good. Next up is Gibraltar, who I'm also putting in B tier because he's a good character with good defensive capabilities, but he's not as good as the characters above him as the other people in B tier. Next up is Mirage. I'm going to put him in D tier because even though he got buffed again this season, he is still not good. Next up is Revenant. His ultimate is good for doing damage and scouting, and his ability is good because it cancels out other abilities, but his kit isn't as good as it could be. Last but not least is Loba. I'm putting her in C tier because although her ultimate is good for getting loot, her ability isn't the best mobility, and her passive isn't even that useful.